Hello, hello, my loves. Welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about the topic of reading reversals in your tarot readings. Um, I'm going to take this opportunity to also showcase a deck that I don't think I've done a review on. I think I've mentioned this deck in a couple videos, but I don't believe I actually did a review. So I will definitely take into consideration showing the deck as well. But the main gist of this video is going to be geared around the topic of reversals. So, before we even begin with the topic, what is a reversal? So, if you're a tarot reader or you are just starting out with your tarot reading journey, you will probably come across the term reading reversals. And pretty much what it is reading the opposite or the upside down version of the card. So a reversal is when you are pulling cards or shuffling the cards and you pull a card and it comes up upside down. And you pretty much in your tarot journey will start to make a decision whether you want to or not read the reversal. Everybody's different. Some readers love it. Some readers will stay away from it. And some readers are just kind of like, if it happens, it's a sign. If it doesn't, it doesn't bother me either way. A little bit of a history of my tarot experience with reversals. When I first started my tarot journey in 2012, I'm a self-taught reader. I taught myself how to read the cards. I would watch YouTube videos, and I pretty much just learned off of reading books, watching YouTube videos, and practicing on myself and then on other people. And when I first started reading the tarot, I did read reversals. I used to shuffle my cards, and when they would pop up, I would read the opposite meaning of the upright meaning. So you have the Lover's card, right? And you have all of these beautiful messages, beautiful meanings to the lovers, and then you pull the lovers in reversed. A way that I would get away with doing this would be to read it as the opposite. So if Lover's upright is love, connections, romance, choices, then the opposite meaning of it could be breakups, disconnect, not being able to make a choice, right? It's just the opposite of the upright. Some people have a whole other way that they go about reading reversals, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's kind of what works for you, what gives you an accurate and confident tarot reading. That's what matters, right? So that's what I would do. And I remember I would shuffle the cards however I wanted, and reversals would always come up. And then I got into a point of my tarot reading journey where I started to really want to tap into my intuition. When I first started tarot reading, I was more of a guidebook kind of a reader. When I say guidebook reader, it's pretty much you read the tarot cards based off of the guidebook definitions. You read it, and I wasn't sitting there like opening a guidebook and reading them that way, but I was going based off of a lot of like the typical stereotypical meanings of the cards. And as I started to get more into it, I started to want to utilize my intuition and less of what the guidebook meaning was, because I was finding that I would pull cards and I would have a different feeling within than what I knew the guidebook would say. But that person's situation or their energy or their question was making me feel a certain different way about it, right? So when I got into reading with my intuition, I wanted to test out my intuition. And a good way to test it out, in my opinion, is not using reversals. Because when you are doing a tarot reading and all of the cards are in one direction, but your heart or your intuition is telling you, ooh, I really just feel like this card is supposed to be read in its opposite. That is your intuition telling you to read it that way. So I would find that if I had all upright cards in a reading, I was testing my intuition by if I felt a certain way about a certain card, if I felt like I needed to read the reversal meaning, I would do the reversal meaning over the upright. And as I got more validation from my clients and them saying the reading was spot on or it made sense, it just kind of showed me that my intuition was growing and it was developing in the way that it should. So I started to specifically shuffle my deck where I would not get any reversals. And I believe I have a video that I did. Oh my gosh, my hair. I believe I had a video that I did a long time ago where I was teaching you how to shuffle your cards to not get reversals. There's actually a way you can shuffle them. There's multiple ways, but I do have like my favorites. I love to personally riffle shuffle. So it is the process of shuffling your cards like this, you know? And so I will link the video in the description box if you guys want to check it out. I think I still have it. I have to check. Let me show you really quickly how you could shuffle your cards to not get reversals. So number one, make sure all of the cards are upright in the deck. So if you're going to have to go through it and make sure they're all facing the same direction, do that. And then one easy way to shuffle the waterfall shuffle is pretty much you're not going to get a reversal when you shuffle. You're holding the deck in your hand and you're pretty much picking up just a piece of it and kind of putting it in front in different like layers, if that makes sense. So as you're doing this, all of the cards are staying in one direction. So that's one way to shuffle. The other way is if you like to do the riffle shuffle, you could totally do it. So you have your cards, they're all in the same direction. You're going to cut the deck. So you cut it in half. And then when you are putting it sideways, like together to shuffle the ends, you want to make sure that they are both in the same direction. Does that make sense? So you cut the deck and you're not going to go and turn them over and then you're not going to shuffle them like this because obviously you're going to get reversals in your deck, right? So you want to make sure that the butts that are touching that are going to be shuffled together are in the same direction, okay? That's how you shuffle the cards without getting reversals. So I made sure to teach myself to cut the deck, and you'll probably will notice if you watch me do readings, I'll cut the deck and then I always flip the card so that the butts are, they're in the same direction. It's just I just do it automatically. But if someone is watching me that has never seen me shuffle before, they'll catch it and they usually will ask me like, why do you flip your card over like that? And that's why, because I don't want reversals. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And I've been doing the same thing for years, you guys. This is like my favorite way to read is no reversals. And I just trust my intuition because your intuition is always right. Like 9 times out of 10, it is spot on. And it really helped me develop my psychic abilities and my intuition and just trusting what I was getting. So there's that. Now, let me introduce you to a tarot deck that I don't have control over the way I shuffle it. And that deck is the Tarot Original 1909 Circular Edition. So this is a circular tarot deck. And when I ordered this one, I had ordered it with the intention of, this is a cool Rider-Waite. I love Rider-Waite. I collect them. I've never worked with a circular deck before, and I just thought it would be really, really fun to take photos with it and, just kind of see how it works. Well, I quickly realized that this deck is really hard to shuffle upright. It's almost actually impossible. I started to kind of think, you know what? I feel like if I do want a specific deck that I designate, that I use, that will give me the reversals and that will pop up like that, like if I want to read like that, this is a deck I'm going to go for. It has gorgeous backs. You could see the death flower is all over the card backs. You cannot tell which way is upright. It's just really beautiful. The only thing I don't like is the cardstock is too glossy. So the cards do kind of slip everywhere. And because it's a circular deck, it is a handful. Like it's a big deck to hold in your hand. So that's the only thing I feel is kind of like a downer about it. Thank God though that the cardstock in the deck is very thin, because it actually makes it easier to grab the cards and shuffle them. But I do still riffle shuffle these guys. I just, hold on real tight and I do the same thing. But obviously it's impossible they're going to go everywhere. I do the waterfall shuffle a lot with it. So I will do that. The only thing that I have to do when I'm shuffling this deck is pay attention to the way I'm pulling the card. Like when I'm pulling cards with my upright, right? I know it's already going to be upright. So I pull the card and I just put it on the table. The round one is a little different story because the cards are going everywhere. So let's say, we're shuffling the cards and then I pull it. If I'm pulling it, I make sure I keep on, I hold on to it the way it's supposed to go. And I put it out on the table exactly how it lands. And if it lands sideways, that means something. If it lands upright or reversed, it means something. So that's what I love. I actually really love working with this deck for that reason. It's kind of opened up a whole new, I don't know, maybe like a whole new energy into the tarot reading. Like my whole tarot reading experience. But I've only been working with this deck for the last month. So it's still new to me, but it's actually eerily accurate. So it's kind of like, yes, I veered away from reading reversals. And now I'm kind of like specifically with this deck, I'm purposely reading them and getting the reversals or getting the sideways meanings. And it's just like, it's still a spot on reading because I feel like with all the years of my experience doing the tarot readings, I feel confident enough to give a good reading. And I feel like it doesn't really matter if the deck is reversed or not. I'm still going to get an accurate reading, but it's kind of fun. So I really just, I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was just really cool. So kind of let's talk about the directions of the cards, Let's work with the Fool. So as we know, obviously we know an upright fool. We know the meanings of him. He's adventurous. He's seeking, answers. He's soul searching. He's going on an adventure. He's doing something new. This is a new opportunity. It's a new outlook. It's this desire for expansion, right? And then we also know the Fool reversed is the opposite. So this could be a fear of taking that first initial step. This could be a fear of new beginnings or a fear of stepping into a new relationship. This could be not knowing yourself or questioning your abilities to do something, questioning your worthiness, questioning your life purpose, right? So what happens if you're using the circular tarot and you pull the card sideways, whether it's to the left or to the right? What does that mean? So I had to start really thinking about that. And to me, a sideways card can symbolize a block, an energetic block, or it could symbolize a maybe. So if you're doing like a reading and you're asking a yes or no question and you pull sideways cards, your answer could be maybe. It could go this way or that. It's a neutral, right? If you're reading for the energy of your romance or the energy of a job and you get sideways, maybe this is resembling a block that you are facing with that path. It's just kind of interesting to see that, you know? What is a sideways definition for the Fool? This could be your neutral. You don't know if you want to do this or that. You're just kind of like testing out the waters. Maybe you're still feeling out the situation between two people before you make a decision of whether you want to date this person or that person. Or maybe it's your life purpose is just kind of like, I'm testing out the waters just to see how I feel. Now, also, here's another thing you can do. And this is kind of, this goes into like the way I teach my psychic, like my students when I teach psychic classes. Is the direction that he's facing. The direction that your tarot cards are facing will also tell you a lot about the energy of the reading. He's facing his head. I go based off of the head. Their head, he's in the left, which the left side of me is my past. And if he was facing the right side is the future, right? This is the present. He's right here in the middle, in the here and now. So I kind of love the idea of pulling a sideways card. Now, people would probably think, well, what happens if you pull the card and it comes out like diagonal? Which that definitely happens. I read it with the same energy as the sideways. So to me, a diagonal is the same thing. It's kind of like, not quite confident to say yes, but I'm also not saying no, you know? And it's just kind of cool when you use this deck and you pull them and the cards are like every which direction. It really just like expands the whole energy of the reading. It also kind of helps you to look at your cards in a way that maybe you never looked at them before. So I just thought I would kind of share that little outlook with you guys because I think that it's just kind of fun and it's like a new way to look at the cards. And I'm sure that there's been people who have been reading like this forever. I just barely started doing the whole circular tarot. So to me, doing that kind of a reading is pretty fresh and new in my experience. I've been pretty set on just a basic one-way direction, Rider-Waite deck reading, and I've been good. You know, I've been having a lot of successful readings and happy clients with that. But I feel like bringing in the circular tarot or just the idea of reading certain directions of the cards is really going to expand that reading even more than what it would be before. And I guess my other thing too is when I use like regular size tarot cards, I do have some mini Rider-Waites that I will pull out if I'm like using those specifically for deeper meanings. So I'll double up on my Rider-Waites, and that's kind of like another way that I go about a reading, and that's a whole other video I'll have to do. But tell me, you guys, do you guys own this deck? Are there other circular tarot decks that you use, and have you, do you read that way? Do you use the directions, right, that your cards are facing to kind of tell more of a story of the messages that you're giving? I don't know. I just thought that this was really kind of interesting, and I'm curious to see what you guys do. So let me know. And I want to know too, do you love the circular tarot? Do you use it? Do you use it just for pictures? Like, I love the cards. They're very pretty. Like they're very bright. And they do look really nice on a white table, and so they do photograph really nice. I love the way that they just kind of sit and they just look different. I love it. But if you're not just using it for aesthetic reasons, like, are you also using it in readings, and how do you like it? So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're having a beautiful week. And yeah, I guess that will be it. And until our next video, I will see you guys soon. And if you do want to book a reading with me, you totally can. All of my information is in the description box. Everything that I offer that you could book with me is on my website. So check it out, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, loves.